Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
What's up, everybody? Mr. Plays out here, back with another video for y'all today. And today we're gonna be talking about the closure of Google Stadia, which will be shutting down in January 2023 of next year. So if y'all want to hear more gaming news, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell. So what was Google Stadia? Google Stadia was Google answer to a cloud gaming streaming service, which for the most part, most people say they did enjoy it. But the problem with Google Stadia was that it didn't have enough features. Like most people said, what killed it for Google Stadia was that the feature they promised was a feature that should have been there day one, or that feature they never added. Like Google Stadia when it first came out was bare bone compared to any other streaming service. So that what kind of killed Google Stadia at the end, was that there was no features. Like half the features were not even there at launch, and the features they did promise really never came into fruition. So the article I'm gonna be reading this from is CNN. This is the first time I actually read an article for CNN or CNN ever talked about gaming. So this should be a very interesting article, because I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the first and last time I'm gonna be reading a CNN article about something about video games, because CNN rarely writes about gaming. So far as I've seen, Google is shutting down its gaming service Stadia. Google plans to shut down its cloud gaming service Stadia in January, a little more than 3 years after its launch, citing lackluster demand from customer. Phil Harrison, the vice president and general manager of Stadia, said in a blog post Thursday that the consumer gaming service hadn't gained traction with users that we expected. Google plans to refund customers for all Stadia hardware purchases made through the Google Store and all game and add-on content purchases made through the Stadia Store, according to Harrison. Google launched Stadia in 2019, making it one of the several tech giants to invest in the gaming market, described by some at the time as the Netflix of games. Stadia let users stream and play games via smartphone, web browser, and other gadgets using Google's Chromecast streaming device. It delivered a console quality experience without the space-consuming hardware. But there were earlier signs that Stadia was struggling. Google said in 2021 that it would stop making video games for its Stadia platform. Some other tech companies had to rethink their game strategy too. Facebook said last month that it would shutter its standalone gaming app this fall. The move also comes as Google and other tech companies rethink hiring and investment a market downturn in fear as some looming global recession. Despite shedding the service, Harrison said Google remained deeply committed to gaming. Google expects to use some of the technology behind Stadia for other products, according to Harrison. Players will continue to have access to their Stadia game library and be able to play through January 18, 2023, so they can complete final play sessions. Harrison added that the majority of refunds are expected to be completed by mid-January 2023. He said the additional detail for this process will begin available in the help center. One thing that played a major downfall in Google Stadia was that it didn't launch with enough features. And here the feature that Google Stadia should have launched with, or the problems with Google Stadia, because some of these were more problems than features. And we're going to get into one of them right now. Not everyone will receive their Founder Edition on day one. They will be sent out in the same order that pre-order will receive. So if you pre-order a Google Stadia expect to get it day one, you probably ain't gonna get it day one, because Google said, hey, you pre-order it later, so you gonna get it later. That's how pre-order is supposed to work. When you pre-order something, you reserving it for that day one. That's how I feel. When you pre-order a video game, you expect that video game to be ready day one. You want to play it day one, can you pre-order it? When you pre-order something, you're reserving your spot day one when you pre-order a game, or a copy of hell for you. Google say, you know what, forget that noise. If you pre-order it later, you're gonna get it later. A phone is required for the initial setup of Google Stadia and for purchasing the game. when you need a console or a PC for that matter to order, when you need a phone number to buy games for like Steam for example, only thing to access Steam, you just need an email address. That was it, an email address, and that was it. Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PS4 or PS5 now, and PS5 or Series X. Now we in the year 2022. Only thing you need was an email address, and you good. You never had to have a phone number to start up a console or a streaming service for that matter. That's another thing. Cause think about it. Imagine a child or a parent bought their kid a Google Stadia and they just bought them own separate one because they didn't want the kid, for instance, and bought them with theirs. Imagine the shock on that parent face where they found out they got their own phone number, but the kid don't got his or her own phone number. Then they basically shit out of luck. Only the Founder Edition Chromecast Ultras will be able to stream in 4K HDR 5.1 on day one. PC won't be able to stream in 4K HDR 5. Until 2022. Okay, that's another feature in launch. So basically, if you own a PC and not a Chromecast Ultra Edition, you couldn't stream in 4K HDR. Which I think that's stupid, because if you paying the same money, you should get the same price. You should get the same value. Google Assistant only will be able to start game on Stadia with more functionality being added in the future updates, which is not a big deal. It's Google Assistant, so still kind of unacceptable that they couldn't find a way to put more feature, but Google Assistant. Here's a big one though. I think even Xbox had this day one. The Xbox One had this day one, I believe. Family sharing won't be able until next year. Parents are encouraged to purchase a game a second time on their kids' account. So basically, what Google said right here, you know what? I know you already bought this game. You want your kid to play it on their account too, but you know what? Buy it twice. That's what people like to hear. Buy a game twice. Give us $120. The UI for achievement won't be able at launch, but Stadia will be locking them. So achievement wasn't available day one. Like, dude, achievement been around ever since the Xbox 360 era. You tell me they couldn't get 360 on this thing? I mean, you tell me they couldn't get achievements on this thing day one? On the Chromecast Ultra that comes with the Founder Edition will be compatible with Stadia at launch. Update for other Chromecast Ultra will follow soon. Only the Chromecast Ultras will been available with Stadia day one. Then what's the point of buying Stadia when you ain't gonna be able to use it with other Chromecasts? Like, that's stupid. You want to, as a company, you want to maximize your profit. Why not make it work for all of them? The Buddy Pass, one of the items listed as being a part of the Founder Edition, won't be available until 2 weeks after launch. So basically, they hadn't got finished with it yet. Basically, they're saying they need another 2 weeks to work on it. So that's what happened. That's another thing. These are the reasons Google Stadia failed. Like, these were the key reason. The lack of feature that should have been there. They didn't have features. When you launch a service half-baked, you're gonna get half-baked results. That's just point blank. Look at Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is a half-baked game, so you know what happens to Halo Infinite? It's failing. Look at Cyberpunk 2077. Sure, Cyberpunk 2077 had recovered somewhat, but look at when it first launched, the game had major issues, and look how it got received. Look at Battlefield 2042. I don't think nobody even talks about that game. I don't think nobody even plays that game no more, because that game is so abysmal. Like, that's an embarrassment. Like, dude, all the glitches, all the missing features. Like, I'm tired of these people coming out with half-baked stuff. Like, dude, delay if you have to. Don't come out with half-baked games or services. Why? I don't see what the purpose of coming out with half-baked stuff is. Like, what's the point? Cause first impressions are everything when it comes to games, services, and all that. That statement that first impressions matter are good that's a good saying, because first impressions do matter. Because one thing about people is that if your thing ain't good, if your product ain't good when it first hit store shelves, nobody gonna touch it. Because it would have a marked reputation of being bad. Every once in a while, a product can come back from being a bad product and get better. Cause we had stuff like that in the gaming industry before. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege was a mess when it first came out, but it gradually got better. Look at I can't get another example at this moment. I can't think of another example, but it been some. Look at No Man's Sky. Bare bone when it first launched. Now a ton of stuff to do, and it's actually a playable game. People are tired when stuff come out half baked and don't feel like they getting their money worth. And also, let me discuss the Google Stadia manager, Phil Harrison. He got the Google manager, the Google Stadia manager got a prolific track record of not being a good leader when it comes to products. The dude, let's read some, shall we? This is a Twitter account named Mario Nl. I can't really pronounce this Twitter name. I'll give it to you. And then he posted, Phil Harrison, 1992 to 2008, quit after disaster PS3 launch, 2008 to 2010. Info game / tire failed for bankruptcy. In 2013, he skipped a year. In 2012 and 2012, Google bought by Sony. 2020 after 2015, quit after disastrous Xbox One launch. 2018 to 2023, Google Stadia closes less than 5 years. So Phil Harrison has a bad track record when it comes to keeping projects alive. So I don't know who hired Phil Harrison. Probably his buddies over there in no different industry, in the gaming industry, put him up to the project and just making them bad. But seeing through this track record, Phil Harrison is not a good leader. Phil Harrison had all the messed up projects, all these failed projects, and he just keeps on getting hired to new ones. Like, Phil Harrison must know somebody in the gaming industry that he keeps on getting these jobs and keep on failing at them. Because if it was anybody else, dude, they'll been out the door. Anyway, it been Mr. Play Doctor. That's all I gotta say about the Google Stadia. Google Stadia could have been something promising, but due to lack of feature and bad leadership, Google Stadia just became another cloud gaming service that is buried, that is gone, bye-bye, that is now dead. Google Stadia could have been amazing if it had great leadership and had half its features there, but alas, it, as everything else in the gaming industry, due to its lack of features, it did not do well. So anyway, this been Mr. Played Out with another video. Have a good day, and see y'all later. Peace.